Hey, this is Angie Watkins, your extreme encourager, going live for 545. We're changing it up today. We have been changing it up this month for November for the series of "Tis the Season to Be Eaten." And so instead of shooting for simply 5 minutes, I'm going to just share 5 tips. So today, I want to talk to you about eating out gluten-free. And I want to share 5 tips for terrific tasting experience. Because one of the things, the tips are not just for Thanksgiving, or just because I'm using it for the tis the season, but you can actually use the same tips regardless of what you're doing. So if you are eating gluten free and you're a non-celiac gluten sensitive, or even if you're gluten sensitive, these tips can help. So if you actually do want to experience, there are a lot more restaurants that are paying attention to the needs of those of us who need stuff that's gluten free. I mentioned last week, sometimes, again, it's pertinent because if you're on a job and doing things or just having events or activities and you don't feel like you can break bread with people, haha, no pun intended, that there are certain things that you need to have. I mean, because some people's like, oh, you can have bread. I'm like, gluten-free bread, no wheat, no rye, no barley. But yeah, I can actually eat bread if it's fixed with a different type of flour. So one, I'm already ready to grub down sometime later on this week with family and friends and all that good stuff for Thanksgiving. Because again, 'tis the season to be eaten, and I want to enjoy my time before and after we eat. So sometimes, you go into a family, and sometimes you have a good family, a really caring family who cares about being educated and may ask, what can you have? What can't you have? Um, Festivities for those who don't have the people who ask and just figure, there's a lot of people on a gluten-free site that have family members who just really don't get it. But I digress. So my 5 tips for eating out so you can actually have a good time. One, this may seem kind of standard, is check out the menu before you go out. A lot of people have their gluten-free options online that you can check out before you even step out the door. One of the things you can always, they even have a gluten-free menu, they have an allergen menu, they have something that can be read to figure out what's going to work and what's not going to work. Some people specifically have, the items sectioned off. Other people actually have a chart so you can actually see what ingredients are in the food so you can check for yourself. So you can actually always come with your own education. And also it helps to check online because if you are doing a group type of thing and you have checkout options for different restaurants, hopefully your people are having them. Like, we have these 3 options. Check out the menu online, see what you can have. And if 2 out of the 3 don't even have gluten-free options, you can at least steer the group itself to that third option where you can actually have something to eat and actually enjoy yourself. At least that's the goal, that's the target. You don't want to just sit there and drink water and look at people, which can happen. So that's tip number 1. Whenever possible, read the menu beforehand, before you go out, before you step out anywhere. Tip number 2, even after checking online, ask for the gluten-free menu in the restaurant because they may change some things. They may have some specials. They may have some other options and items that they haven't had a chance to upload to the website or upload the PDF of the menu online or anything else. So you may end up having a little bit extra things or options because they have a special meal of the day, or they may have other special things that you can still actually have and enjoy. So tip number 1, read before you go online. Tip number 2, still ask for a gluten-free or gluten sensitivity menu when you get there. And don't be surprised in some cases that you get a book, like a book where it goes through everything. I actually, end up enjoy going to Red Lobster, and they have an allergen book. So one of the things I look through the chart, honestly, is like, if it has wheat, it has an X. I'm like, if it's filled in, I avoid it. If it's a blank square, I look for the empty square where wheat is not there, and I look all the way to the left to see what food option is it, other than vegetable. I mean, I had my feelings hurt because broccoli was not even, I was like, what do you put in it? But to be surprised, some of the seasonings that they put on the food and things like that have wheat and gluten in it. So, but it does still make it easier. If I get a chart and there's a column with the wheat and it's filled in for where it has wheat, I look for the empty spots. It makes reading so much faster and scanning that much faster. Empty, 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 empty. Okay, what's, fill, empty. What's that? Broccoli. No, actually, sorry, it wasn't broccoli. It was potatoes. Empty, 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 French fries. I'm like, okay, maybe not, because also you have to worry about cross-contamination. If there isn't a dedicated fryer for the fries, bye-bye fries. Just deal with a baked potato or something like that if you really just want some type of potato. But I digress. But still, you have to ask for the server, ask for the menu when you get there. You may get a book. You may get sections. Everybody else has a fold-out menu. You have a one sheet and you can turn back and forth and like, oh, and here's your options, and you have 3 desserts to choose from, if that. So, tip number 3, be sure to tell your server you have an allergen. Tip 3A, be prepared to educate said server, because they will still say, hey, you want some bread? I'm like, I'm gluten allergic. I'm like, I have no idea what that means. That means I can't have bread. I'm like, okay. So sometimes you have to educate them. They don't know. Sometimes you hit the jackpot. They're already on it. Sometimes you go to Legal Seafood with just about everything on their menu is already like gluten-free and alternative flour, so you really don't have to worry about it. It's like everything on it, for the most part, is something that you can have, which is awesome. If you have a Legal Seafood near you, be happy. It's good. So tip number 4, ask questions anyway. So even if the server has some things, they also want to double check so you don't have a bad experience at their restaurant. I have been to some places, they don't have a gluten menu, they don't have a gluten allergen book. What you have is a chef that will come out and talk with you about your options and how they compare stuff for you so you can actually still eat and have a good good experience. I mean, this goes even so far as if you, again, this is maybe more for gluten sensitivity, non-celiac, but, depends on how severe everything is for you. But even at a buffet restaurant, again, I don't have celiac, but I am sensitive. So even at a buffet restaurant, the server and or chef, whoever's better experienced, walks me through all the options that I could have. And they gave me options about what they would end up preparing separately in the back. So, I could still have steak, which you really can't, you don't do too much to it, but, you have steak, you can have salmon without all the seasonings and all the sauces because they don't know what they're putting in there. But they will end up walking you through, even for a buffet. Yes, yes, no, yes, no, without this, yes, yes, no, not sure. Let me go talk to the chef. Chef will come out and ask, that kind of thing. So you can actually, again, get the jackpot and somebody's really, really well versed, and or you get somebody who is trying to be helpful, bless their heart, but it wasn't that successful because it's like, well, you can have this, but you need to take the sauce off. Like, not, yeah, okay. I'm going to eat somewhere else, but thank you for helping me because I can't really take the sauce off because it's already cross-contaminated, but thank you for coming out and walking with me. So I played it safe and just got something else and brought it to meet with some friends or whatever because, it was an option to do that. But sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, and sometimes you're just not going to play the game. Go somewhere else, get some stuff that you can already have gluten-free with the surety so you can enjoy your time and not end up, in some cases like with a migraine or a low-grade migraine or headache or just feeling like crap, literally because somebody made a mistake. So there's also an app like Find Me Gluten Free that can actually help you if you're traveling somewhere. Where are some places to eat out? You have reviews that people will provide, what was working, what didn't work. People who may have been better educated, not educated. Like one of the things, even that helped. If you have a dedicated fryer sometimes because you just have that fry, Tangent. I'm not saying it's a good thing, but it happens. But dedicated fries can be your best friend when you actually just really want some French fries. As long as they don't put the chicken nuggets or the onion rings or the shrimp or whatever else that they use breading and flour in that's wheat based, you have less chance of cross-contamination. So eating out gluten-free can be a good thing, can be a safe thing, or safer than you think. Again, it beats than just sitting there with a glass of water sometimes when you actually really do want to actually commune and just, eat with family or friends while you're going out. Now, again, some people may say like, ooh, it's a little extra. It is what it is. It comes with the territory. I mean, there's some people that they can't even take that chance because they are so sensitive. Others who can ask questions. Again, get the menu beforehand if you can online. Ask for it again when you get on there because some things change. They may change an ingredient. Talk to your server and your chef if necessary, because if they don't have any of those options, ask questions. They're bound to have something. At the minimum, you have a salad with no croutons. But there are other options besides salad and no croutons. And or somebody was like, oh, let me just take that out. No, remake the salad, please. Thank you. Can't have it, cross-contamination, bad reaction. And also, again, there are apps like Gluten-free, Find Me Gluten-free, that has places, so if you're traveling and things like that. But you can do it if you're willing to give some time. And it's a little bit more options than just simply having salad with no croutons. So this is Anggie, your extreme encourager. And the reason why I'm talking about it is sometimes you really want, hey, Ashley, you really want to actually have some time to break bread. Again, gluten-free bread, it can be broken, with family and friends when you go out and eat. Again, I'm domestically challenged, so there's not much cooking going on right here for, Thanksgiving. You fix some turkey, I'm eating turkey. That kind of thing. Even when we have like an event or a holiday celebration at work, what you fixing? I can bring utensils. What, do you want extra forks, silver knives, whatever? I can experiment with some things, but you're better safe than sorry. So I keep it simple. So again, I'm going to recap one more time. So when you want to eat out gluten-free, you want to have a good, awesome tasting experience, find the menu before you go out online. Ask for it again when you're there. Talk to the server and or chef, because sometimes they can actually make something special for you. Take a season off or two, and you can have exactly the same. You can have the same or similar options as someone else. Salmon without a whole bunch of seasonings. They can do salt and pepper. They don't have to have all the sauces and things like that. Broccoli, you can put salt and pepper on the table, and a baked potato or something like that, or baked sweet potato. Awesome, awesome options. And again, you always ask questions, and you can also do the Find Me Gluten-Free app. So enjoy your time when this tea is the season to be eaten. Eat smart and enjoy yourself. This is Anggie Watkins, your extreme encourager. Till next time, I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.